Hello everyone, and welcome to my Young and the Restless official 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. It looks like the Young and the Restless is once again testing the patience of longtime fans who've been rooting for a Lily and Kane reunion, but this time, things might not go as everyone hoped. For months, there have been subtle signs that the show was building towards some kind of emotional reconciliation between the ex-spouses, yet the story's trajectory seems to have taken an unexpected detour. The reason? Whatever is happening between Kane Ashby and Phyllis Summers has completely overshadowed Kane and Lily's long-awaited second chance. Viewers who followed Lily and Kane's roller coaster relationship for years can sense that something has shifted behind the scenes, and it feels like the writers might be putting their reunion on hold indefinitely. With Kane's identity as Aristotle Dumas coming to light, Christel Khalil's pregnancy influencing story direction, and Phyllis's involvement in Kane's AI drama, the odds of Lane rekindling their romance are shrinking by the day. When Kane returned to Genoa City under his new alias, Aristotle Dumas, it was clear the show had something daring in mind. The recast brought a new layer of mystery to the character, reshaping him from a broken family man into a sophisticated, tech-savvy risk-taker with a morally gray edge. However, that reinvention came at a price. His emotional connection to Lily, once the heartbeat of his storyline, began to fade. Viewers immediately noticed the distance between the characters, and it didn't help that Khalil herself publicly downplayed the likelihood of a reconciliation. In interviews this past June, the actress candidly admitted that she doesn't see Lily and Kane reuniting anytime soon. "It's never happening," she said flatly, a statement that sent shockwaves through the YNR fanbase. Her reasoning made sense. Lily has evolved since Kane's repeated betrayals and scandals. The woman who once forgave his deceptions has learned to protect her peace, and perhaps even her heart. Kane, on the other hand, is a man burdened by guilt, regret, and the desperate need to fix what's been broken. Ever since he revealed himself as Aristotle Dumas, he's been trying to repair his reputation, not just in Genoa City but within himself. He's made overtures toward redemption, trying to be a better father to Charlie and Maddie, and showing interest in helping Lily navigate her business ventures. But something about his timing and tactics keeps backfiring. Instead of emotional breakthroughs, his actions often create more tension. And now, with Phyllis in the mix, any possibility of rekindling his connection with Lily has been pushed even further out of reach. The chemistry between Phyllis and Kane has been both intriguing and dangerous. From the moment their paths crossed over the controversial AI storyline, a mysterious program with enormous power and potential for manipulation, sparks began to fly. At first, it seemed like a partnership born out of necessity, two sharp minds chasing the same prize. But as their collaboration deepened, the lines between business and pleasure began to blur. Fans noticed how their scenes together were charged with flirtation and tension, even when the dialogue remained professional. Kane's charming demeanor and Phyllis's seductive wit created an unpredictable dynamic that felt electric. Yet beneath that heat lies a darker motivation, and it's unclear whether Kane's interest in Phyllis is genuine or strategic. It's possible that Kane has been playing a long game. The AI plot has layers of deception, and some viewers speculate that Kane might still have possession of the genuine program. If true, his interactions with Phyllis could be a test, a way to determine who he can trust and who might betray him. This would make sense for a man who's already been burned by love and loyalty more than once. However, if Kane's charm offensive crosses the line into romance, he could end up sabotaging any chance of regaining Lily's trust. Lily has always been a woman of principles. She values honesty and integrity above all else. Seeing her ex-husband entangled with Phyllis, a woman notorious for manipulation, would only confirm that Kane hasn't changed as much as he claims. Meanwhile, Christel Khalil's real-life pregnancy has thrown another curveball into the mix. Her recent announcement, cleverly revealed through a Halloween dance video showing off her baby bump, confirmed that the actress is expecting her third child with husband Sam Restagno. While fans were overjoyed for Khalil, they also realized what this could mean for Lily's storyline. Soap history tells us that when an actress is expecting, her character often gets written out temporarily or sent on an off-screen business trip. Given the show's pacing and tone, it's likely that Lily will soon be sent out of Genoa City, possibly because of something Kane does, or because she needs a break from the chaos that continues to follow him. The timing couldn't be more suspicious. With Lily likely stepping away and Kane growing closer to Phyllis, YNR might be using this opportunity to reshuffle romantic storylines once again. Still, die-hard fans haven't given up hope. Lily and Kane share a deep history, one that can't easily be erased, even with all the new faces and side plots the show introduces. Their love story has survived paternity lies, fake deaths, affairs, and corporate sabotage. It's the kind of soapy, messy romance that YNR built its reputation on. Yet, even nostalgia may not be enough to save them this time. The writers seem determined to push Kane in a new direction, testing his alliances and forcing him to evolve beyond his old mistakes. Whether that evolution includes Lily remains uncertain. But if Kane truly wants redemption, he'll need to show genuine growth, not just clever schemes or manipulative charm. As for Phyllis, her own motivations remain murky. She's been chasing this AI program as though it holds the key to reclaiming her power in Genoa City. After all, she's had her share of humiliations, betrayals, and business failures in recent years. Working with Kane gives her a sense of control, and possibly, a spark of excitement she hasn't felt in a while. But if their partnership turns romantic, Phyllis could be setting herself up for another heartbreak. Both characters are damaged in similar ways, driven by ambition and haunted by their pasts. A romance between them might ignite fireworks at first, but it could also explode spectacularly once their secrets start surfacing. Kane's duplicity and Phyllis's impulsiveness make them a volatile combination. Behind the scenes, it's not hard to imagine that YNR's writers are keeping their options open. The show thrives on unpredictability, and halting Lily and Kane's reconciliation might simply be a way to build tension for a bigger payoff down the line. Fans could see Lily leaving town, perhaps after a heartfelt confrontation with Kane, only to return months later to a completely different dynamic. By then, Kane's involvement with Phyllis and the AI scheme might have spiraled into something darker, forcing Lily to choose between saving the man she once loved and protecting her peace. If the show plays its cards right, this pause could make their eventual reunion, if it happens, even more emotionally powerful. But for now, all signs point to a delay, if not a total derailment. Khalil's strong stance against a Lane reunion, the creative redirection of Kane's character, and the unpredictable chemistry with Phyllis all suggest that the show is exploring new territory. It's a risky move, especially considering how beloved Lily and Kane once were. Their fans have been through it all, from his fake death in 2011 to her heartbreak over his infidelity in 2019. Each time, viewers hoped for healing and closure, yet YNR seems determined to keep that door half open, half shut. Even Kane's interactions with other characters have reflected this emotional limbo. His conversations with Devon hint at unresolved guilt, while his quiet moments with his children show how much he still yearns for family stability. Yet, his actions often contradict his words, the mark of a man who hasn't truly learned from his past. Meanwhile, Lily's scenes emphasize independence and control. She's running her own empire, balancing motherhood, and focusing on her future. The more grounded and mature she becomes, the less likely it seems she'll want to revisit the turbulence of her past with Kane. That said, soap operas are masters of reinvention. No door is ever fully closed. Kane could experience a crisis, perhaps involving the AI program's fallout or a betrayal from Phyllis, that pushes him back toward the emotional vulnerability that defined his earlier years with Lily. Maybe he'll lose everything again and have to start from scratch, realizing too late that Lily was the one constant he should never have let go. Or perhaps the writers will double down on his darker arc, making him a tech-savvy anti-hero whose moral compromises cost him everyone he loves. Either way, the pause in Lily and Kane's reconciliation suggests that YNR isn't done experimenting with his redemption just yet. For now, Phyllis and Kane's uneasy alliance is center stage. Viewers can expect more mind games, seduction, and manipulation as they navigate the treacherous world of stolen technology and corporate espionage. The AI storyline could end up being a metaphor for control, both characters trying to program their lives, only to discover that emotion and chaos can't be coded. In the end, the fallout might leave them both alone, forcing Kane to confront the truth about what he really wants, and who he really is. So yes, it does appear that The Young and the Restless has put the brakes on Lily and Kane's reconciliation, at least for now. Between Phyllis's growing influence, Kane's hidden agenda, and Khalil's off-screen pregnancy, the timing just isn't right for a romantic reunion. But if there's one thing fans know about Genoa City, it's that no story stays paused forever. Somewhere down the road, when the dust settles and the AI drama fades, the spark between Lily and Kane might flicker again, bolder, wiser, and far more complicated than before. Until then, viewers will just have to watch as Kane tries to navigate the wreckage of his choices, while Lily, ever the survivor, focuses on her next chapter. Because in YNR, love never truly dies, it just waits for the right moment to rise from the ashes. Even as the dust settles from the latest Young and the Restless upheavals, the emotional storm between Lily and Kane refuses to fade. The truth is, their story has always existed on a razor's edge, teetering between reconciliation and final heartbreak. Now, as the show explores Kane's growing entanglement with Phyllis and Lily's shifting role on the canvas, the question haunting longtime viewers is whether this so-called pause is temporary, or the beginning of a permanent rewrite of one of Genoa City's most beloved couples. What's becoming increasingly clear is that YNR is deliberately steering away from the familiar comfort of their reunion, leaning instead into a more unpredictable, morally complex era for both characters. Kane's new life as Aristotle Dumas, Lily's evolution into a stronger, more self-assured woman, and Phyllis's disruptive energy are all pieces of a much larger narrative puzzle, one that could reshape the emotional landscape of the show for years to come. For fans who followed their journey since the mid-2000s, this shift feels bittersweet. Lily and Kane weren't just another soap couple, they were the embodiment of second chances. When they first met, Lily was still reeling from her teenage traumas, and Kane was an outsider trying to prove he belonged. Their romance had a natural, grounded quality that stood out against the backdrop of corporate wars and family betrayals that defined Genoa City. They weathered affairs, secrets, and tragedies, from Chloe's baby deception to Lily's cancer battle, and each time, viewers watched them claw their way back to one another. Their love wasn't built on fantasy, it was built on forgiveness, endurance, and pain. So when the show dismantled that foundation and sent them in separate directions, many felt something vital had been lost. Kane's transformation into Aristotle Dumas was supposed to reintroduce him with a fresh identity, a way to erase the baggage of the past. But in trying to reinvent him, the writers may have accidentally alienated the heart of his character. The original Kane Ashby was flawed, yes, but deeply human. He was a man who stumbled often but always tried to do right by his family. Aristotle, however, feels more like a cipher, a mask hiding 1,000 secrets. This shift mirrors the broader transformation of YNR itself, which has leaned more heavily into corporate espionage and technological intrigue lately. With the AI storyline dominating the current arcs, Kane's role as a man of mystery fits the tone. Yet, this evolution has distanced him emotionally from the audience, and from Lily, who once saw through his walls with ease. Meanwhile, Lily has become almost unrecognizable from the woman she used to be. She's matured into a confident business leader, balancing power and compassion in ways that make her one of Genoa City's most respected figures. Running Chancellor Winters has forced her to make tough decisions, often at the expense of her personal happiness. She's been betrayed by Billy, challenged by Devon, and cornered by corporate adversaries, but through it all, she's emerged sharper and more self-aware. The irony is that the stronger Lily becomes, the less she seems to need Kane. What once defined her, her fierce loyalty to the man she loved, has now been replaced by an unflinching independence that some fans admire and others lament. Christel Khalil's pregnancy adds another fascinating layer to the mix. As her real-life circumstances influence the show's direction, it's likely Lily's upcoming absence will be written in a way that creates narrative space, perhaps symbolizing her stepping away from the emotional chaos that Kane brings. A storyline where Lily temporarily leaves town, maybe to oversee a new branch of Chancellor Winters or to handle a family emergency, would give the writers a natural out. It also creates an opportunity for Kane's life to spiral in her absence, highlighting how deeply his choices continue to affect everyone around him. The writers have done this before. When Khalil previously took a hiatus, Lily's absence became the emotional centerpiece of Kane's redemption. History could repeat itself, but this time, the stakes might be even higher. Because while Kane appears to be on a path of self-discovery, his involvement with Phyllis threatens to unravel everything he's been working toward. Their connection is built on mutual opportunism, two people who see in each other a reflection of their own cunning. Phyllis has always been drawn to danger, and Kane embodies the kind of chaos that both attracts and destroys her. Their scenes together sizzle with tension, not necessarily because of romantic chemistry, but because both characters are masters of manipulation. When Kane leans closer, speaking in that calculated whisper, or when Phyllis flashes her knowing smirk, it's never clear whether they're flirting or plotting. The ambiguity keeps viewers hooked, but it also paints a bleak picture for anyone hoping to see Kane and Lily reconcile. The question now isn't whether Kane will betray Phyllis, it's how deeply he's already doing so. The AI storyline has become a metaphorical battleground for trust and deception. Kane, pretending to work alongside Phyllis, may very well be orchestrating a double cross. If he truly still has the genuine AI program, as many fans suspect, then every move he's made so far is part of a calculated game to determine who can be trusted. It's brilliant storytelling from a technical standpoint, but emotionally, it isolates him further. Each lie he tells pushes him another step away from the redemption he claims to want. If Lily ever learns that Kane manipulated Phyllis or anyone else, it will only confirm that he's incapable of genuine change. And for Lily, that would be the final nail in the coffin. Still, the show might not be done teasing the audience. YNR has a knack for layering its romantic and professional conflicts, and Kane's relationship with Phyllis could evolve into something messier than anyone anticipates. There's undeniable attraction there, one built not on sweetness or shared dreams, but on adrenaline and shared ambition. They understand each other's flaws, and in some ways, that makes them a perfect match. But it's also what makes them dangerous to each other. Both are prone to self-sabotage. Both crave validation. And both have a history of losing everything when they chase too much power. If their relationship turns romantic, it will be a ticking time bomb, one that could blow apart not only their lives but the entire corporate ecosystem of Genoa City. For Kane, that kind of chaos could be both destructive and liberating. He's spent years trying to prove himself to others, to Lily, to his children, to the Newmans and Abbotts who never truly accepted him. But what if his next chapter isn't about redemption at all? What if Kane's evolution into Aristotle Dumas is the beginning of his anti-hero era, the moment he stops seeking forgiveness and starts embracing his darker instincts? If that's the case, then his dynamic with Phyllis makes perfect sense. She's the mirror he's been avoiding, the embodiment of what happens when a good person gives in to their worst impulses. Together, they could become Genoa City's most dangerous duo, not because they're evil, but because they're unpredictable. Meanwhile, Lily's potential departure, temporary or otherwise, could allow her story to pivot in a new direction as well. When she returns, she may find herself walking into a completely different world, one where Kane's alliances have shifted, and where Phyllis may have become his closest confidant or even lover. Imagine Lily coming back to town, ready to co-parent peacefully, only to find that the man she once loved has turned himself into something unrecognizable. The heartbreak, the tension, the betrayal, it's pure soap gold. And in the process, Lily might be forced to confront her own complicated emotions. Even if she no longer loves Kane, his descent could stir feelings she thought she'd buried, frustration, sorrow, even residual affection. The more she tries to detach, the more she might find herself drawn back into his orbit, this time not out of love, but out of a desire to understand why he can't seem to save himself. Fans, of course, are divided. Social media is buzzing with debates about whether Lily and Kane deserve another chance. Some argue that their story has run its course, that too much damage has been done. Others insist that love like theirs never truly dies, and that the show owes them a proper closure, if not a reunion. "They've survived worse," one fan tweeted. "Why give up now? Another countered, Lily deserves peace. Let Cain chase chaos with Phyllis. It's this divide that makes the storyline so compelling. The writers are clearly aware of the emotional investment surrounding the couple and are using that tension to keep viewers hooked. Every scene between Cain and Phyllis, every lingering look between Lily and Devon, becomes part of a larger emotional chess game. Adding to the intrigue is the looming question of Victor Newman's involvement. Victor has always had an uncanny ability to sniff out opportunity and danger in equal measure, and the AI program storyline practically screams for his interference. If Victor learns that Cain and Phyllis are manipulating the technology for personal gain, he could insert himself as a silent puppet master, using both of them for his own ends. This would set up a fascinating triangle of power, Victor pulling the strings, Phyllis playing both sides, and Cain caught between ambition and self-destruction. And in that chaos, Lily's absence would feel even more pronounced, the one voice of reason silenced just when Cain needs her most. There's also the matter of family. Cain's children have always been his emotional anchor, the one reminder that he's capable of genuine love. If they sense that their father is slipping into dangerous territory again, it could create a parallel storyline where the next generation struggles to reconcile who their father has become. Lily, even from afar, could serve as the voice of guidance, urging them not to repeat the mistakes of the past. In a poetic twist, her physical absence could make her moral presence even stronger. It's the kind of layered storytelling that YNR excels at when it balances heart with high drama. Ultimately, what makes the current situation so intriguing is its ambiguity. Nothing about Cain and Lily's fate feels final. The show has deliberately left the door cracked open, just enough for hope to seep through. Cain's remorse, Lily's quiet vulnerability, and their unspoken connection remain the emotional undercurrent beneath all the corporate scheming and technological intrigue. Even if they never reunite romantically, their bond will always define who they are. The writers know that, and they're using it to deepen both characters in ways that go beyond traditional soap tropes. So, is The Young and the Restless halting Lily and Cain's reconciliation? For now, yes, but perhaps not.